Enggak suwe.
Bis Pak Yai.
Ore ule mantananareo episcopo Samuel Son Edouard ataonareo iza moza
Members within Madagascar miaro ny manodidina of Madagascar protecting the surrounding islands came to the General Assembly with all papers regarding the request of the scattered islands. They required the deputies to issue laws about them. During the official launch of the Habitat Fair at Tanzumbatu, the Minister of State in charge of the Territory Development and Infrastructure, Mr. Hakuto Vaurivo, says building new town is part of the government project to avoid urban exode. The signature made between Alliance Voargas and the Bianco is to eradicate corruption related to illicit export of national wealth. The regional lines connecting Antira Bay and Abatfuti required the rehabilitation of bus station at Fasankarana and the establishment of new station. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this RTV Yahoshua and HFF radio journal. Louvania and Arambar Swiss presenting the news. It's been weeks now that the request of the scattered islands has been talked. The associations and politicians gathered within Madagascar and Mjarni Nusmandidna of Madagascar protecting the surrounding islands are responsible for that. This afternoon, they came to the National Assembly bringing all papers about the request. They expect the deputies will issue laws stating that these islands belong to Madagascar. The president of the National Assembly, Mr. Rakutu Mamundi Jean-Max, received these people. He explained all the reason for this request, the benefits we will get if they are back to us, and the losses if we don't rush. The associations and politicians with the deputies to have a look at this request. Interview. This is a high priority and very urgent. I already explained to you what will happen if we don't rush. We beg you, Mr. President, that you would deal with it during this session, because foreigners are never late in what they do. That's my say, Mr. President, but thank you for receiving us. The President of the Assembly confirms that it is a shared request. It is part of rescuing the country. Report. This is a sign of rescue and love for the country. We well received your message. Journalists say deputies do not care about those scattered islands, but that's wrong. Deputies often talk about it, and as a proof, there are deputies among those who requested. The fact that you come here means this case has reached the National Assembly, and we will take it. We must discuss at the Permanent Bureau. The other countries should not fight for those islands, but Madagascar alone, say these associations and politicians. The United Nations say that these belong to Madagascar, were taken away from us. This is then illegal and just unfair. Actually, what they fear is there are two foreigner companies in La Réunion who are exploring petrol underneath these islands, and obviously France will benefit from this. That's why the associations warned the deputy to represent the Malagasy people for this operation. The signature made between Alliance Voirgassi and Bianco is to eradicate corruption related to illicit export of national wealth. The National Civil Society Alliance Voirgassi, aiming protecting the environment, has been set for 6 years now. Many efforts and steps have been achieved during these times. The AVG is mainly fighting against illicit export of national wealth, of their exploitation. A convention with Bianco was done today at their office at Antananarivo. The objective is the collaboration regarding the management of natural wealth and the strengthening of the stakeholders' capacity building within the environment protection system. Reducing or eradicating corruption related to national wealth export is also possible. Establishing Madagascar is also among the convention, as well as strengthening the know-how for the management for the Malagasy wealth and the prioritization of fight against corruption in all aspects. The president of the AVG, Mr. Razakamanarna Njantu, 2018 is giving further explanation. Interview. As I already said, we already have a collaboration before. We just strengthen it, among which is the information system with Bianco. There are also investigations which will be done jointly or separated. It's our duty within the civil society to help the government regarding sensitization. There are also monitoring matters. Actually, there are many cases that haven't been judged and yet just remain in vain. Most of the time, citizens complain about what happens in the court in front of those leading operations on exporting national wealth and just relaxed afterwards. The AVG president explains there will be collaboration with deputies to improve the achieved steps in protecting national wealth. Interview. Decisions and all procedures must be closely observed. We will find a way to make the population know about it. Regarding decision, the AVG will work with some of the judges who do not do corruptions. As for Bianco, they investigate when receiving complaints and they will take the case to the court. Interview. All systems involved in Rosewood affairs all have their area of expertise. Bianco is in charge of investigation, then they take it to the court. Building new town is very important due to the urban exode, said the Minister of State in charge of territory development and infrastructure. However, getting land here in Madagascar needs coordination, either for investors or for Malagasy citizens. There are laws about that, and the government plays a role in coordinating it. Yet, laws that rule these investors are not the same. Laws abroad are not the same as here in Madagascar. The Minister of State, Mr. Rivo Rakutvau, is giving further explanation. Interview. As there are too many informal constructions and the government also limited the granting of lands, we will try to organize all that. The government did not rush in setting up the urbanism plan to find where the constructions can be done. This morning, transporters within the regional lines connecting Antsira Bay and Abatfuzi were on strike. They request a new station at bypass Yavlu. They also request the rehabilitation of the Fasankaran station as it no longer follows the standards. So they require the government to have a close look at this station. A driver within the regional line connecting Antsira Bay explains. Interview. What we request from Ministry of Transport is pressure first. For instance, a mother or father burying a child can lead to pound. Secondly, people getting off the bus at the wrong place between bypass and Yavlu. They need to get off at Tanzumbat, for instance, and they cannot get off but at Fasankarana. Thirdly, the station doesn't follow the standards anymore. And fourth, regarding gendarmerie, there are too many stops. Now it's time for us to follow the regional news with our colleagues all over Madagascar, starting with Tara Malala from Antsira Bay. Regarding insecurity, Dahal stole 6 zebus during the day at Biakanga in Mandut district. The Dahal used their guns to spread the shepherds, so the Dahal took them easily. The local population ran after them, but in vain. Still about insecurity, 22 bones were stolen in Mangarano municipality. Only skulls and chest bones were left in the grave. No one knows when it occurred. People are wondering what are these bones for. Last news from Gendarmerie say that there are high networks behind the story. Regarding economy and agriculture, Vaknakarata region has wide land around 19,200 kilometers square, volcanic land and suitable for this agriculture. There is the ZIA or Agricultural Investment Zone. To extend the agricultural field, economic operators cooperate with the farmers to pay for these lands. The site visit is now opened. In Ibit municipality, 75 hectares of land were offered. Then 6 economical operators were on spot. Most of them are NGOs, among which is Tarubid NGO, Fafiara NGO. The local population was quite suspicious regarding this project, but the responsible provided all required explanations. These are the news from Antsirabe. Tara Jarakut Malala for HFF. Eugenia Razaf Mandim is reporting us about the news in Tuliari. The responsibles keep on spending efforts in cleaning the city. That is the case for the urban municipality led by the mayor. The PASSAT project, in collaboration with the WWHH, also took the responsibility in collecting garbages spread over the city. They also took part in cleaning the beaches and some other fukuntani. They also sensitized the population not to spread garbages everywhere. One responsible within PASSAT explains. PASSAT is a project, which means Project for Solid Sanitation and Food Safety in Tuliari. We take part in cleaning Tuliar city, collecting garbages. These are our main activities. Nevertheless, we also work in food insecurity through culture, providing safe drinking water. PASSAT was approached by Asurso, an association gathering operators within this festival to make people know about what's the way of living within the society, especially in cleaning the city. That's why PASSAT called all its partners to collaborate in cleaning Tuliar beaches. PASSAT project started this year 2015 regarding garbages collection. In 2014, the city was extremely dirty. We can see there was a big progress since then. We now have 3 vehicles transporting these garbages every day. There are also 44 bins all over the city. Nevertheless, there are still many efforts to do. For the population needs to be responsible first, because despite these bins, there are still those who throw the garbages outside the bins. There are also some fukuntani which are not equipped with these materials and equipments yet. Anyway, we can see there has been a big progress in the city. The sustainable strategy in cleaning Tuliar city, as we already know, is the duty of the urban municipality first. We just help during the project lifetime, but the urban municipality will be the first responsible with some private companies that may be willing to work with them. That is the long-term vision. Apart from that, we know these garbages will be put at Atsunguburi, but there's already another place at Bilalanda, where some infrastructures will be established according to the standards so that these garbages can be recycled again. But regarding other news, there is no frequent water cut anymore in Tuliar city due to a technical problem. There are such a long queue at each water pump, day and night. The general manager of Jirama says it's a technical problem. Anyway, Jirama is trying to solve this, and they even apologized and let the population know about this problem. These are the news. Irnyaina Tuliar for HFF. Reported by Thomas Razafmandi, news from Fianarantsoa. Regarding environment, lots of smoke have covered the city this Thursday. This means bushfire is on again, causing such hot smoke. This means people totally do not care about environment. People are making charcoal. This has impacts on economy and health. Regarding health, people get sick due to this smoke. And as for the economy, today is Thursday, and it's Alakamis Yambuima and Alakamis Isuruna market. The charcoal bags are increasing in Fernando City. That means people really cut woods and make charcoals. Regarding economy, rice costs 380 ariary and 1,400 ariary per kilo. People in Fianarantsoa do not really buy rice in kilo but in tins. According to our discussion with some sellers, this price may increase as the price increased at the wholesalers level. It's also the hunger gap season. But regarding administration, Mr. Akutu Samanan René was set as the new prosecutor at the higher court. Local authorities and judges came to attend it. These are the news from Fianarantsoa. Thomas Razafmandi for HFF. Solomon Hakutwarzon is bringing us news from Mazanga. The national president and regional president of the Sailors Association, Mr. Naya, says there are many clever people within the maritime profession. There should be a close collaboration from the government with sailors, he says, as the government does not show any will for either at the ministry level or the council level. There are no sailors who have been accepted to work within these institutions. That's why they requested to improve this profession, for they realize great profit if their works are well managed. The national president of the Sailors Association gives further explanation. The reason why we seek collaboration with the government is actually we do not know exactly the reality. We have a president of the republic, a prime minister, a minister of transport, yet we noticed there are not even one sailor as councillor either at the Prime Minister office or at the presidency or at the ministry. Yet there are intellectuals among us. So don't we deserve to be councillors regarding maritime issues? And we think that they may be the source of the spoiling of our profession, for the leaders just not want to care about us. We already drew a request and sent it to the President of the Republic and the Prime Minister, but just in vain. According to his say, sailors know more about what's happening in the high sea, so they have experience in improving the maritime environment. These are the news from Mazanga, Solomon Hakutwarzon for HFF. And finally, news from Tuamasina reported by Beta Bonaventure. Regarding social news, the network protecting children's rights within East region will be established in 2016. There will be a workshop about this during 4 days in Tuamasina City and held at Espace La Famille at Murafeno. This workshop is done to prepare the strategy in front of children protection within East region. Then will be investigation with districts to see the gaps and results for 2015. The regional manager in charge for population and social in East region, Dr. Azafimayev Sylvain Noël, explains. The aim of this workshop is to prepare strategy on children's protection in East region in 2016. Then will be investigation within all districts. what are the results, what are the gaps, and then there will be a new strategy for 2016. This workshop will be done with several ministries led by the Ministry of Population, also the National Defense and the Ministry of Interior, the Public Security and the Ministry of Justice, which all have their responsibility in this workshop. These are the news from Tuamasina, Beta Bonaventure for HFF. Here I come at the end of this news. Thank you again for following it till the end. Louvanian Rambrasu has presented it. Stay with us for further program on RTV Yahushua and HFF Radio. See you next time and goodbye.
Ule Mantananaré Episcopo São Milson Eduardo Atanaroi Zamuza